Hello, I have returned after a almost 10-month hiatus. I actually don't remember the last time I uploaded anything, but I returned. I will explain what happened to me while I was gone, while the occupied sector footage is gonna play, but if you are new here, which I expect you will be, this is Digital Devil Saga 2, played with only combos. I will flash the rule set on screen right now, but it is basically the same as the Digital Devil Saga 1 rule set. Well, it is exactly the same. Which I did the Digital Devil Saga 1 with only combos last year. Well, I finished it last year. I started in 2024. And 2026 is the year where I am going to get started on the Digital Devil Saga 2. And you may be wondering, why the long break? What happened? Well, I have taken many long breaks from the channel before, but this time I've had a good reason, and that is from April to about August, I've had the worst anxiety I've ever had in my life, coupled with what really felt like depression. I just kind of spent 4 months in my bed on my phone, just kind of wasting away and just not really even getting up to go turn on my computer. But I've been getting better. I've been seeing a therapist. She's been great. I've been learning about myself as well. And I want to come back to the channel. I want to continue creating stuff. Not only in terms of, gaming content. I want to diversify a little bit. I don't want to just commit my channel to only the one gaming thing. I want to try other things, but for now I've committed myself enough to doing the Digital Devil Saga challenge that I will finish it hopefully by February, because I will be changing the format on how I record my gameplay stuff. It will be voiced over, like this one. Like this video is going to be voiced over instead of 1 hour of footage that I've edited down from like 3 hours of footage. It's just going to be like 10 to 20 minutes of me commenting over what happened, because I don't really care about the in-between stuff between, the big moments, the bosses, or like forced encounters. And I expect you, as the viewer, will also not mind seeing all the chaff cut out. So this I plan to make into 3 videos. The first one, which is this one, is going to cover from Occupied Sector all the way up to Chroma Society Tower. Video 2 is going to cover everything up to the sun. So Egg 1, Power Plant, Egg 2, Airport, Archangels, all that. And then video 3 is going to cover all of the sun, including Jack Frost, the Jack Frost fight, the Vishnu fight, the Shiva fight. I'll at least try the Seth fight. There's no way in hell Satan is doable. And then after Seth is dealt with, we'll finish off with Brahman. Now, I haven't recorded anything past Society Tower, so I don't know how it's gonna go. But right now, you're going to see the footage of my first 4 sessions of playing the game. So the first thing you're probably going to notice is on the bottom right corner, you're going to see that I have a new avatar. My previous avatar, honestly, I didn't like it when I drew it. So I've changed it for the DS2. Maybe when I do something else, I'll change it again. But right now I have my guy dressed up as Gale. because, you know, Gale is the real protagonist of the Digital Devil Saga games. He undergoes the most character development, etc, etc. Funnily enough, since I got a new PC, I had been using, like, for 7 years, I had been using a Samsung Odyssey, which, you know, really outdated at this point, and really old. It has started to fail me in 2025. So my brother, he helped me build a new machine. He picked out all the parts, and I've been enjoying it greatly. It runs pretty much anything I would want it to run, and it's probably going to help me bring new things to the channel. But in the transfer process, I did end up losing my my scripts that I had been writing. Well, I kept all the ones that I heard about. Unfortunately, the DDS1 combo recap stuff, that one was a casualty, but I also wanted it to be rewritten anyway, so it's not going to affect the progression of the series as much. It's probably going to be in this format, I would guess. Another casualty was the avatar itself. I had to basically redraw it when I got to my new computer. And don't worry, my art skills have not progressed since I first drew it. It is basically the same. I have been trying to practice, but I've had hand pain issues. I have a hyper flexible hand, which means my pencil grip is horrendous, and my thumb bends backwards a lot, which is, as you might expect, really painful when you draw for an extended period of time. So I have been, you know, I've been learning to do the stretches, and I've been just really paying attention to how my how my hand is placed on the pencil. So let's start talking about the game itself. We've been running like 8 minutes of occupied sector footage. So DDS2, we have transferred over the save data from the DDS1 playthrough, which had a ton of Maka. It had all the mantras mastered, and I think that's everything. Well, it also had all the correct dialogue choices, so we'll get all the bonus skills in the sun, and we'll also get heat instead of Roland. But that means we get to start the game in hard mode, which of course I picked hard mode. Hard mode, I don't know for sure the full scope of hard mode, but one of the things it does is increase the crit rate that enemies have on you, and this is going to be relevant in multiple fights. But for having mastered all mantra, we get a really good 5 bonus stats in all stats. We get 5 points in all stats, 3 character, which for the beginning of the game is really good. We get to cruise through almost every random encounter in occupied sector. So when we get to Vetala, basically what we do to Vetala is we kill the Andras with Earthshot spam, and then the Vetala just dies to regular Mazan spam. And that's it. Well, not Mazan, we don't have Mazan, sorry. I don't have the footage in front of me, I'm doing this partially off notes and memory. He doesn't die to Mazan, he dies to Windshot. That's correct. So Vetala dies without much trouble. We get all the cutscenes when we get to the underground city. We get to sell the Surf Stag Ring for another 10k in addition to the normal 10k it costs, because we finished the game with over 1 million Maka. So we get, you know, a nice boost to our finances at the beginning of the game, but it's not going to be too relevant for the future, I presume, given how expensive some mantras get. And speaking of mantras, we have to discuss the mantra plans. The mantra plans in DDS1 were simply master everything on everyone in preparation for DDS2. But in DDS2, there is no benefit to mastering everything, so I will be selecting with much care which mantras I choose to pick up. The plan is to just go chase combo pieces, so we can, of course, cast the new combos and keep our movesets up to date and versatile and all that stuff. Surf in particular is going to be getting Mind Charge, and we also have to plan ahead for Egg 2, because the fight at the end of Egg 2 after Ritra, however you pronounce it. The fight at the end of that dungeon is Surf and Heat O'Brien fighting against Real and Fake Varna, and the problem is that Heat O'Brien does not combo. He cannot do combos, which means we have to use basic attacks to kill the enemies. And the enemies are capable of using Expel and Death magic, which means that it is likely that I will have to at least give Surf, Expel, and Death Resist in anticipation for Egg 2. And I have to do that in Egg 1, because at the end of Egg 1, Surf leaves the party. So that is going to be fun. It is also probably the only reason why we need a basic attack exemption for the rule set. Because, without the basic attack exemption, we really would be completely unable to attack. The white and black impulses are magical, and so they don't trigger counter, and we wouldn't have any other skills otherwise. So underwater cable, it was also not much trouble, but I did get lost for a little bit, because, I am just really good with the directions. But in getting lost, that is just more XP to get more levels, and does make Hecatonic Hiatus a bit easier. And I really didn't need all of the XP, because the Hecatonic Hiatus fight was really close. The last 100 fists that he cast before he died put everyone at like single digit HP or double digit HP. So each point of wit and each point of HP was worth it in my eyes. Also, underwater cable is the dungeon that introduces Berserk mode. Berserk mode, for our purposes, is just going to be a free retreat. It's not that worth it to gamble on basic attacks. And also, we can't cast any magic, which means we can't cast any combos while we're in Berserk mode, so we still have we have any other options. So for Internment Facility, and I'll try to be a bit more focused now that we're out of the explanation part of the commentary. Internment Facility is where we pick up and start using the Tensarafu combo. The Tensarafu combo is about 1 Madine's worth of damage, because that's just how the developers tuned it. There's not much stuff that resists panic, so we can just use it for a lot of our encounters. And we are just going to abuse this until the end of the game, or until it starts falling off. This is also where we have our first mantra grinding session. We needed Roland to catch up for Kumhanda, because we needed Roland on the Kumhanda team. And this is also where we start meeting up with Jack Frost. I will not comment on what we get from Jack Frost or what the questions are. Just know that I will tell you when we get the certificate. The Internment Facility is a pretty short dungeon. There's really not much trouble until we get to Kumbanda. Kumbanda killed us a few times. Well, yeah, killed us a few times, I believe, just due to bad luck. Which means that we finished the fight with Roland getting no XP at all. Not that it really matters. I don't plan on putting Roland on any other party. But yes, Kumbana dies, we get to Karma Society Tower. Karma Society Tower, the random encounters aren't really that notable because they all just die to Tintarafu. When we get to Elagors, including the Elagor with the Heo ring, we actually just die because the crit rate is just really not cooperating with me throughout this run. I'll get to it later. But we beat the Elagors on the run back. Then not much happens until Tribana 1. Tribana 1 was a bit difficult, but we didn't die or anything. The main strategy was using the old favorite Primal Dance and just casting it on a Kusith until it died, and then revert Argilla, spam Earth Shot on a Ganga until it died, and then that leaves just to Belarus. Belarus dies to Mazam spam, which required some chakra drops to finish out the fight, but not much trouble otherwise. Tribana 2 is a different story. Tribana 2 did wipe me once because of just bad luck with Belarus's physical attacks. But again, we won the run back. This time I focused down Ganga first, again with Earth Shots. And then with Sip, I just spam a bunch of Maragi and used any spare turns to either heal or basic attack Yusuf to death. And then once it was just to Belarus, so Belarus died to, again, more Mazan spam. And to close out the video, Eat. Eat was close. Eat has a special AI behavior where he targets Surf, and if Surf is not on the party, he just uses really strong physical attacks. So I just had to keep Surf out and just eat all the Agidines that he cast. Fortunately, we are still running the 2 points on magic, 1 point on Invit every level up, which means Surf has lots of magic defense to eat all the Agidines. The problem is all the extra turns that the Agidines generate, which means more chances for us to get crit. And Surf ends up dying, which I really didn't. It really upset me because I didn't want to watch the whole cutscene again. So I ended up spending a whole turn just reviving and getting Surf back up to full. But the other side of the coin to the RNG just blessed me, and that is we got a good amount of misses, which in combination with a turn where the Gdons didn't cast Ice Drain allowed me to cast Mabufula until both tigers died. and then just cast Fula until he himself died. So that's it, about 22 minutes of video instead of just 1 hour. A new record for me. Next episode will be done as soon as I am done with all the dungeons that I mentioned prior. I am just going to focus on playing Digital Devil Saga for the time being. So hopefully by next week, if not the week after that, I will have all the footage that I need. And then, you know, I can move on. I can do other things. I guess I just wanted to close this video out with an addendum. I have thought about other Digital Devil Saga challenges. So Robin and Zephyr, I believe, did a human-only challenge for one or both games. I haven't actually checked. But they have done a human-only challenge, and Deuce, famous SMT / Megaton franchise challenge runner, he did solo runs of only Serp in EDS1 and only Gale in EDS2, which really are the only solo runs you can do in those games. Gale is the only person in EDS2 that stays in your party the whole way, and well, the one time he leaves is the one time you don't have to take any fights, so. And EDS1, Surf is the only person that stays in your party the whole time because Deserted Ship has Argilla and he leave the party temporarily, and then Gale and Cielo aren't in your party the whole way too. But yes, outside of solo and human only, I genuinely don't think there's anything else you can do with this game. Like, I considered shield only. You use only shields. And then, I don't know, maybe basic attacks as well. But the problem is with that run is impossible because of the final boss, Harihara Final. If you use only shields and basic attacks, you cannot beat the boss. So, you know, that's out. There's also no way to do in Pokemon, you have, you know, don't use any skills that deal direct damage. The problem is that most Megaton games are built around, they have bosses that are built around completely preventing you from using skills that do not deal direct damage. Like, most bosses are immune to poison and panic, and they can't damage themselves or take damage over time. That challenge might be possible in SMT5. That is like the one game that has enough tools for you to do no damaging skills run, and honestly, now that I am speaking of it, I might be the person to do that because I really like SMT5 Vengeance. I have considered as well modifying the game with cheats so we could have a true no AP run where you basically don't master any mantras. You have like Surf, Heat, and Argilla with their initial 2 skills, and then you have Gale and Cielo with whichever mantras they have mastered. But the problem is that I already feel like that run is possible. There's not even like a question in my mind as to whether or not it is possible. It is just you get to beat the game slower because you don't get access to the good skills. So I don't think it's entertaining at all. And that's it. this video is going to be longer than the rest, probably because of how much else I had to say regarding, you know, myself and the ending spiel about other possible challenges for DTS. So I am going to edit here. I'm going to edit everything down to like, I'm going to edit down my 4 hours of footage into 30 minutes so it matches up with my voice. And yeah, I'll see you later for the rest of the dungeons that are on Earth. Then later we do the sun. Goodbye.